Hey, it's Sam. Today's video is one I think we can all relate to and one that was recommended. Yoga poses for low back pain. So pain in the low back can come from a number of different things. It can be tightness, of course, in the erector spinae, the muscles that support the lumbar spine. Also tight and weak hamstrings, hip flexors, psoas muscles, glutes, as well as a weak core. Today's practice is going to focus more on lengthening the muscles that may be tight, so the erector spinae, the hamstrings, glutes, hip flexors and the psoas. Weak core also plays a big part in low back pain. I will do another video with core strength for low back pain. But today we're going to focus a little more on the lengthening of the tight spots. So when you're ready, let's get started. Having a tight lower back doesn't necessarily come from just having a tight lower back. It can be a number of things: tight hamstrings, tight psoas muscles, and even a weak core. So I'll suggest trying to find out what the root of the problem is, and then we'll work from there. But we're going to try and incorporate a little bit of everything today. So lower back length, of course, some core strength, as well as opening up through the psoas and the hamstrings as well. So we'll start down on our back. Nice and easy, just resting the feet underneath the knees, just allowing a little bit of the length of the low back to stay grounded onto the mat. Some of us naturally have more of a curve or lordosis, meaning the tailbone tilts back and anterior tilt in the pelvis. If that is you, maybe taking the feet a little wider and letting the knees come together will allow a little more space of the lumbar spine to ground onto the mat. Just let your eyes soften shut. And just allow the earth to support the lumbar spine. Before we get too carried away, we want to feel as though we have a little bit of a base, a little bit of support underneath us. Start to become aware of the breath. Hopefully we can breathe a little deeper into that lowest part of the belly, feeling the lumbar spine and the muscles surrounding spread out onto the mat as you inhale. Slowly starting to walk the feet back under the knees, and then just drawing the knees in towards the chest. Just take your hands, catch hold of the back of the knees. Or the front of the knees, rather. So if your low back is already starting to talk to you, just stay right here where you are. Feels okay. A little bit of activity in the feet, so flex the toes towards you and just play with squeezing one knee a little tighter and then the next. So you just feel a little more mobility in the back of the spine. You can play with very, very lightly rocking from side to side. Moving the hips, lifting the left hip and then the right, just trying to become familiar with what it feels like to have the whole length of the spine grounded onto the mat. So from the crown of the head all the way to the sacrum, the very low of the tailbone. If it feels alright for you, you can take the knees together and maybe bring them in a little closer. You feel the tailbone lift up off the mat. We're getting a little bit of flexion in the lowest part of the spine. It's easier to take the knees apart once you draw them together. There's a little more compression through the hip flexor, which could also have something to do with our low back pain. So as uncomfortable as the compression through the hip flexor is, it is very important for overall mobility of the hips. And once you've become comfortable with the little rocks from side to side, we'll just ground down the left foot underneath the knee, cross the right ankle onto the left thigh. We'll keep the right toes flexing towards the knee and just find a little bit of external rotation, so almost as though your right knee is trying to move away from you. You can rest the hands wherever you like, maybe down by the side, one on the heart, one on the belly. We may not feel like we're doing much, but this natural external rotation of the hip is going to help to free up the psoas muscle a little bit more. And the psoas wrap from the front to the outside of the hips and all the way around to the glutes, so they're really responsible for holding a lot of attention and holding a lot of space in the hips. If you've got a little bit more to give, you might be able to take the right hand on the inside of the right knee and find a gentle bit of pressure, slowly opening the right hip a little more. Being sure to keep the right toes flexing towards the knee so the knee has a little bit of support. The more joints that are active around the joint, the more support the joint has. And gently soften and unravel the legs. The right foot come down and cross the left ankle onto the right thigh. And find the same motion. Toes are flexing, the knee moves away from your face. Every part of the spine grounded onto the mat. You can adjust your feet if you need to. Starting to find a little bit of opening. Some natural external rotation. Left hand can rest very lightly on the inside of the thigh and find a gentle amount of pressure. Very slowly coercing the hip to open up a little bit more. So it feels natural. Gently release the left leg. Give the knees a squeeze yet again. It might be easier to take them in a little closer towards the chest now, getting a more natural flexion through the spine. Gentle rock from side to side, almost like there's an imaginary pen on your lumbar spine and we're trying to draw little circles onto the mat. So you can do a few one way and then the next. Once you feel as though the low back has had a little bit of a chance to become acclimated with the space, start to slowly find a little bit of momentum, rocking back and forth, up and down the length of your mat. Until you safely come up to a sit. When we arrive, sit up nice and tall, roll the shoulders back. Keep the chest nice and proud. We're going to take a seated cow-cat variation, so if you rest your hands just lightly on your knees. On the inhale, roll the shoulders back, lift the chest and take the gaze slowly up towards the sky, a little bit of natural extension through the spine. On the exhale, draw the chin to chest, lightly push on the knees, round through the upper back. Curl the tailbone under, so you get that flexion through the spine. It should feel really nice to lengthen the lumbar. Inhale, straighten the arms, gently pull on the knees as the shoulders roll back, chest and gaze rises. Exhale, push the knees forward, chin to chest, round through the upper back, belly draws in. So a few more rounds of that in your own time. Inhale, pull the knees, chest and gaze rises. Exhale, chin to chest, push the knees round the upper back. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. So a few more in your own time. Just feeling the natural flexion and extension of the spine. As you keep the flow of breath, if you want to make it a little bit more fluid, you can gently lift one shoulder then the next. A gentle move from side to side, just exploring all the different ways your spine can move here in this very, very supported position. So imagine almost the spine is made out of water at the moment, which it is a little bit, moving as much as you can. One more full round of that. And slowly coming back to nice neutral position. From here, ground the right hand down beside you, fingertips. Reach the left arm up towards the sky, breath in. Keeping hips evenly grounded on the mat, just start to slowly bend off to the side. So lengthening through the left side ribs, the lats, the obliques. You're using the right hand to gently push the left hip back down into the mat, so the hips stay nice and square. And take your gaze under the left arm, find a little bit more extension, take an inhale. Exhale, come back to center, swap straight over the other side. So left palm or left fingertips ground down, right arm reaches up towards the sky. We look up towards the palm as we slowly bend off to the left. So super important for the lats and the obliques to also get some length. Everything is of course connected to the spine and the torso, so we don't just want to tackle the erectus spinae to fight lower back pain. We want to target every part. Breath in. Exhale, come back. Going down the palms, we'll come onto all fours. So that cow-cat motion we did seated before, we'll take the same one here in our all fours position. So hands are on the shoulders, knees are on the hips, just as we did before. The inhale, the belly softens, chest engaged rises, elbow lifts as well. Exhale, chin to chest, we push away from the floor, back of the heart presses towards the ceiling as we curl the tail under and look back towards the thighs. Inhale, belly softens, chest through the arms, gaze and tail lifts. Exhale, chin tucks, back of heart to sky, curl the tail. A few more like this, finding your breath. Again, getting a little more fluid with your movement if you like. You can send the hips back towards the heels. A little rock from side to side, maybe taking some weight forward over the wrist, bringing the shoulders in front of the line of the hands. Taking one more full round of breath. So one inhale and one exhale. Arriving in a nice flat spine, we'll shift the left knee back a touch, step the right foot up next to the right hand. We come up on the fingertips, roll the shoulders back and lift the chest, and find a little length through the left hip crease. It may feel a little bit like we're getting into the low back at the moment, but we are trying to lengthen and open up through the psoas and the hip flexors, which play a very important role in connecting the hips to the low back, so we want to find a little bit of length through them as well. So we keep rolling the shoulders back and lifting the chest. You can find a little bit of dynamic movement back and forth. You feel every part of the hips starting to get some attention. Maybe it feels fantastic, maybe a little tense. It's important to remember to breathe. So we inhale, and of course we exhale, the most important part. Counteract, just walk the hands back a touch, straighten through the right leg, flex the right toes towards the face. So this halfway split, super important rather than just dropping and rounding through the upper back. You roll the shoulders back, lift the chest, find a nice long spine. Hamstring starting to talk to you. You might be able to find a little more depth, but really focusing on lifting the chest, finding length through the spine rather than rounding. The more you flex toes towards the face, the more the calf and the hamstring will really start to activate. And if you can flex the right quad in all this, you get a little more room in the hip flexor, you might even be able to roll just a little. Breathing into points of tension and trying to exhale to release. Last breath in. Let it go. We'll come back to that all fours shape. We'll swap on the other side. So the right knee is a little further back than the hip. We'll step the left foot up next to the left hip. Send the hips forward, roll the shoulders back, lift the chest. Untuck the back toes. So there's some length happening through the right side hip crease. If you activate the right glute a little, you'll feel a little more length. You know, we keep working to lift the chest and find a long spine. Find a little bit of dynamic movement, perhaps moving forwards and back. And then to counteract, find that halfway split. Send the hips back, straighten the left leg. shift the foot towards the center a little so it's a little easier to find your balance. Left toes flex towards the face. Maybe a slight activity in the left quad. Find a little more depth. So generally, if you have a tight low back, you in turn have very tight hamstrings. Tight doesn't necessarily mean that they are strong. You can still be tight and weak. So it's important to stretch out as well as try and strengthen muscles that you feel are tight. So as beautiful as yoga is, I still recommend and suggest adding a little bit of weight training into your regime as well. Doesn't have to be much, just so you can work the pulling muscles that we don't get to use too much in yoga. The muscles in the trapezius, the lats, the biceps, the hamstring. Ones we don't really get too much strength work out of in our yoga practice. One last effort. Let it go. We come back to all fours. Sit back on the heels in an upright position. Take the fingertips behind the line of the feet. Start to press the pelvis up towards the sky. So we roll the shoulders back to open up through the heart and then support the back with the rhomboids. Press the pelvis forward to lengthen through the hip flexors and the quads. If it feels okay for you, you can stay here for a little longer. If it starts to feel a little tense, see if you can soften the glutes a touch. Take the compression out of the lumbar spine. The glutes are soft, the pressing action comes from the front of the leg. Ready to slowly soften down. Feel that beautiful stretch through the front of the shin and the top of the ankle. Might be starting to feel a little heat as well as a little more space in the back. To finish off, my all-time favourite. We'll come to stand. Find a forward fold. So you want your feet about hip-width apart. This one's great with blocks. If you don't have blocks, I'm sure you have something laying around that is of equal block height. If you have two of them, take them underneath the shoulders. So feet are hip width apart, we'll take a bend in the knees, roll the shoulders back and lift the chest first for a half lift. The low belly draws in, take an inhale. And then on the exhale, fold through the torso so that the elbows drop out to the side. Let the belly and the ribs collapse on top of the thighs. So to start with, be really generous in your bend in the knees. Most importantly, we let the head drop nice and heavy. So it's really nice to have support of blocks or books, whatever you have laying around. You can play with gently straightening one leg and then bending the opposite knee just to feel the glutes and the hamstrings getting a little bit of relief. Support's really important. If the low back feels like it's taking all the weight, you can find a slight pressing away from the floor. But if it feels super comfortable, you can take opposite hand to opposite elbow. Let everything hang. Again, we look for torso and thighs to be squeezing and pressing together as much as we can. So we want to avoid this sort of shape, which we see a lot of in yoga practice. The locking out through the legs is not going to help the lumbar spine. So bend the knees generously. Exhale to collapse. And let everything hang. So this is a pose that I personally do every single morning when I wake up for at least 5 minutes. Otherwise I feel like I'm 600 years old and I've never moved before in my life. Just to finish off, fingers in front of the knees, start to slowly walk both hands off towards the left hand side. When your right starts to straighten through the left leg and bend the right leg, getting a little more depth through the left side of the body. Hamstring length, glute length. Exhale to soften a little lower. Finding one last bit of relief through the erector spinae muscles going up either side of the lumbar spine. Start to walk the hands around through center. Stop to the right hand side. Bending the left knee when you arrive, straightening out through the right leg. Letting the elbows hang heavy, the head be soft. The spine super long. Slowly come back to center. Take a bend in both knees. Like you're 115 years old and you've been laying in bed for 6 months, slowly walk the hands up to shins. Using support to slowly come up to stand. When you arrive, draw the belly in. Reach the arms up, inhale. And meet with palms together at heart. Most important part, start to shake everything out. Spine should be feeling a little more free. The hips, the hamstrings, the hip flexors, all the surrounding muscles have worked in conjunction with each other to help open up and support the low back. So if you throw that routine in the morning or whenever you can when you're feeling really tight, should help to free up a little more space and make you move a little more comfortably. As always, thanks for practicing, my friends. Feel free to like and subscribe, share with your friends. If you have any suggestions, things you'd like to see in further videos, please comment below or feel free to message me on Instagram. Namaste.